Presented by Power Business Technology, your locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or visit them at powercopiers.com. Here's your host, Scott Marsh, alongside the high flyer, Henry Turner.
And a very pleasant good evening to you. Welcome into Golden One Center. It's time for game night right here, Sacktown Sports, 1140. Scott Marsh along with the high flyer, Henry Turner. The defending champs are in the building tonight. The Boston Celtics, their lone appearance tonight in our capital city. And the Kings desperately needing a win. Coming in after that loss on Saturday to Milwaukee, 2-2 on the 7-game homestand. Potentially the hardest back-to-back they'll ever have. The Celtics tonight, the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow night before rounding out the road trip on Thursday. So much to talk about. But Henry, first and foremost, what a beautiful day we have here in Sacramento. The Dogo is popping tonight, getting ready for this one.
And Scooter, you know I am loving that. I love when the sun is out here in Sacramento. You can have the top down. You could go out and raise the garage doors, be in the Dogo, see people walking around. It can't get any better.
No doubt about it. And, of course, you had your beautiful King sweater on. You took that off, the sweatshirt. It was just too warm inside. Spring is here. You still got the cool cap going as we're broadcasting on YouTube as well. But for the Kings tonight, some good news for them. Sabonis available and will play tonight. I think caught a lot of people off guard that how quickly he's able to come back. But I think anytime we talk about Domantas Sabonis, we should never be surprised.
I mean, the dude is just a straight warrior, Scott. When you talk about what he does out there on the basketball floor for these Sacramento Kings, you know, he's a guy to where if it isn't hanging off, he's going to go. And, you know, and I listened to what Doug said today, and it was true to the nail. He said it's the difference between being injured and being hurt. You know, I know a lot of players play injured, but you don't play hurt. So, you know, if Domantas is able to go and give it a go, he's the type of guy that wants to be out there on the floor.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And obviously the Kings have sorely missed him these last two games and losses to Chicago and Milwaukee. Malik Monk will still be out. Devin Carter also listed as out for this one tonight. We'll have a full Gingery and Hammer injury report in the next hour here, getting you ready for this one. Going back to Saturday night, another double-digit lead for the Kings that evaporated, and Giannis in that third quarter put on one of the great quarters we've seen at Golden One Center here.
Well, Scooter, if you watch any NBA basketball, you knew that was coming. Giannis pretty much in the first half tried to get his guys going. He was passing out of the double teams. When Sacramento Kings either double teamed him or stunned at him, he gave up the ball willingly. And, you know, and he really didn't have too much of an impact in that first half. But this is Giannis Antetokounmpo we're talking about. We're talking about the Greek Freak. Probably, you know, the next runner-up, third guy in MVP voting. You know, so you should have knew he was going to come out in that second half and put on a very strong performance, especially trying to get to the basket and score.
No doubt, and he did it well. It was a 22.7 rebound third quarter for him.
Say that again.
22 points and 7 rebounds in the third quarter alone. He was 9 of 11 from the field, a block shot and a steal.
That's why they called him the Freak. Freak-type numbers. The boy looked like an avatar out there. He really does. You know, we were talking about how do you stop a guy like Giannis, and I said you have to pick him up at half court. You have to make him pick up his dribble, pass the ball to someone else, and then try to deny him the best way you possibly can. Yeah. If you wait, Scott, till he gets to that three-point line and try to pick him up, it's 1-2 dribbles to the rack and score. He's going to stretch out so far, he gets right to the rim.
Yeah, he gets right to the rim, and the mid-range jumper was falling for him, too. Everything was going for him.
Yeah, you know, he had little, 15, 20-foot jump shot going. And when he really gets that going, it's pretty much lights out for you because it's like pick your poison. You can't stop him from getting to the basket. And when he's knocking down that shot, you have to at least try to contest it. And that's what he wants, so he can put his head down and stretch out to the rim.
Yeah, he was great. And then Gary Trent Jr. closed the deal in that fourth quarter. He didn't have a single point, but had 11 fourth quarter points.
You know what happened there, Scooter, is that, I kept saying that they didn't shoot the ball particularly well in Milwaukee. They struggle from outside the others. And once they saw the ball go in, Gary Trent Jr. hit one in the corner, and I think the other guard hit one in the other corner, and we were on air, and I said the Kings are in trouble. Both of those guys just seen the ball go in. Now it's going to be an uphill battle because those guys feel fresh about their jump shots. And when they start knocking shots down and the floor is spread it like that, that's all the Greek Freak wants.
No doubt. No doubt. Keon Ellis started, as we're hearing ourselves in reverb now. Just started. Maybe RJ can figure that out. We'll keep going here. But Keon Ellis started that game, but did not finish it. And just curious your thoughts on that high flyer, if you were surprised Keon Ellis wasn't there to finish that game on Saturday.
I was very shocked that he wasn't on the floor at crunch time. He started out, really setting the tone, had a hell of a game going. He was knocking down his shots, understanding that he really had to come out and try to make up because we were down a player. But in all aspects of the game, Keon Ellis was balling.
He was playing really well. And I know a lot of people were interested in that, and even Doug in his post-game press conference on Saturday kind of alluded to the fact that he maybe could have gotten Keon back in that game.
I definitely thought that he should have been in the game because here's the thing with Keon Ellis. Defensively, he's there, solid, one of the best guys on our team.
Yep.
But when he's having a night the way he was having offensively, he has to be on the floor. I mean, that's a win-win. He gives you a plus on the defensive side, being able to guard guys, stay in front of guys, slide. Don't let guys beat him to the basket. And then he's knocking down shots also on the other end, being aggressive, getting to the free throw line, utilizing the floater, knocking down threes. That's the best that you can ask for.
No doubt. And speaking of aggressive, Zach LaVine was certainly more aggressive on Saturday night. He took 17 shots. He was only 7 of 17, 1 of 5 from 3, just 16 points. But we talked about those are the type of numbers he needs to put up at least.
I'm fine with those numbers, Scott. But the one thing that I'm not fine with is that you have to force this dude to take those shots.
Yeah.
And I looked at the game and I said, okay, 7 for 17. You'll ride with that. But my thing is that if you're not comfortable, because if you're not comfortable, the shots aren't going to go.
Right.
So if you don't feel comfortable, I understand why you only shot 9 times. If that's the case. Because in our offense, we need somebody to feel comfortable about letting that thing go.
Yep.
And if you only feel comfortable taking 9 shots, okay, that's fine, but we got to find something else somewhere else.
No question there. In terms of the big man matchup, Brook Lopez, as we thought, was able to exploit Valanciunas outside. That was no surprise there. Valanciunas had a pretty solid game, though.
Played very well, Scooter. The one thing that I like about Valanciunas, and I've been saying this since day one, is that I think he's a very accessible guy and can be an adversary for your basketball team if you utilize him the right way. I honestly think if the Sacramento Kings ran offense through him at some particular point to where he's able to get the ball down low and go to work, I think he can give you a lot more than what he's giving you right now. Valanciunas, the way he scores the basketball, Scott, he's way too valuable just to stand out there and set screens at the mid post.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, the Kings lose that game, and now are 2-2 on this homestand. Final score 114-108. 3 more home games this week before heading out to Orlando on Saturday. As we said, Boston tonight, OKC tomorrow, Portland on Thursday. Portland, a team now that's thinking it might be able to make a move to get into the top 10. You've got Phoenix hosting Milwaukee tonight, and you've got the Mavs coming back with AD, who's playing right now against Brooklyn. Things are tightening up, not only for the Kings trying to move up, which feels like a stretch now, but just trying to hang on.
That's the thing, just trying to hang on. Scooter, nobody is giving up anything. Early on, we thought Dallas was going to shut it down. We thought Portland was going to shut it down. We thought Phoenix was going to shut it down. Nobody is doing that. All of these teams are like, hey, we're trying to get there. We are still making the push. So now the Kings have had a couple of oopsies and a couple of slips. Those games are really going to hurt.
No doubt. The Mavs right now are ahead at halftime in Brooklyn, 62-48. AD in that game has played 14 minutes, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. So the Mavs are going for it, and obviously they have taken a lot of verbal criticism for the Doncic trade. AD's heard it all. He's going to come back with a vengeance, I would think.
And, and that just goes to show where AD mindset is, because he could easily just shut it down.
Yeah.
I'm injured. I'm not coming back. Why am I rushing? But I think AD has something to prove and something to show, and he wants to let the Dallas fans know that, he's in this for the long haul, so he's coming back still trying to make a run.
No doubt. All right, game night is underway here from the Golden One Center. We'll be with you until 6:30 tonight, getting you ready for Kings Live pregame. As always, game night brought to you by Power Business Technology. Experience for yourself how the Power of Family can help you with all your business copier needs. Give them a call today, 1-844-POWER-BZ, or go to powercopiers.com. Ed Rowe, the owner of Power Business, will be in attendance tonight, rooting on the Sacramento Kings. More of game night. We'll look at the standings. We'll get you caught up on everything else going on around the league, get you the matchups for this one tonight as well. Game night right here, Sacktown Sports, 1140.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Get ready, NorCal. The Lodi Beer Fest and State Barbecue Championship is on Saturday, April 26th at the Lodi Grape Festival grounds. There will be something for everyone. Craft beers from over 50 breweries, live music, outrageous food, games, plus taste barbecue from world-class barbecue teams. For tickets and more information, go to grapefestival.com. Must be 21 years of age or older to attend. The Lodi Beer Fest, where great brews meet legendary cues. Saturday, April 26th in Lodi.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's Carmichael Dave talking to you about my good friends at American Energy. You're in the Sacramento area. You know how the seasons work. They are a-changing right now. So American Energy wants to help you stay warm for the rest of the cold season, but help you stay cool during the warm season. Best way to do that, make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of half off a tune-up, $24.50. They cut that right in half, and if you want a diagnostic, guess what? You can't beat free. If it's free, it's me, and now it can be you. And also, it's the end of the season blowout. $4,000 off a new system plus any rebates. That $4,000, that's a direct drop from the sticker price. It's a great deal. Check them out at theaeway.com or an instant quote, or give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland, and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Sacramento, what's up? It's your boy Henry Turner, a.k.a. the High Flyer here. Hey, you need something extraordinary? You like soul food? Howard Gumbo is the place for you. Family recipe straight from New Orleans. Gumbo is off the chain, good like mama makes. Check out their $5 bowl of gumbo. It's the best in the business. And when you talk fried catfish, fried snapper, sides, red beans and rice, Cajun rice, and gumbo fries. 2120 Marconi Ave in Sacramento. When you walk up, tell them the High Flyer sent you.
Welcome back into game night right here, Sacktown Sports 1140. Scott Marshall on with the High Flyer, Henry Turner. Kings and the Celtics. Again, the defending champs are in the building. We'll talk about Boston, who's won 5 straight as they look to repeat. We'll get into all of that in just a little bit. But first, got to talk about Howard Gumbo. Just heard your spot, High Flyer. I had a chance to get over there yesterday. Met Larry and the family. Had the 3-piece catfish with the snapper fries, as you call them, and the $5 gumbo.
Man, I mean,
good eating right there.
great eating. Believe me, whenever I need a real good down-home meal, that's where I go to right there. I make sure I bust that right on Marconi.
Yep, got that truck out there, 2120 Marconi Avenue, Thursdays and Fridays, open 11 to 8, Saturday and Sunday, 2 to 8, best gumbo in town. All right, Kings, as we look at this one, again, they're 35 and 35. They've lost 7 of the last 10, so they certainly are not playing their best basketball right now of the season. They are, if you're looking downward, the Suns are only 1 game back in the win column, 2 back in the loss column. They play Milwaukee tonight. The Mavs, who we said are playing Brooklyn right now, leading at halftime, are also 34 and 37. And then the Trailblazers, who are not out of it either, at 32 and 40. Of course, Portland played Boston yesterday. They lost to the Celtics at home. Trailblazers will be here on Thursday. But right now, it's a 12-game race to the finish line for the Kings to hold on to a play-in position.
And it's a mighty race. It is, Jay. I mean, Scott, because it's really going to be tight. Every game is going to mean something. You know, this is a situation to where, once again, the Kings really got to take care of their business. And then you're looking at the scoreboard, your scoreboard watching, hoping that somebody else can help you along the way. But even if that, you have to win your games and understanding these next 2 is definitely going to be an uphill battle.
No doubt about it. I mean, can you think of a harder back-to-back than what the Kings face here? I guess the only thing that
you're not going to Denver.
Exactly. You're not flying to Denver the second half of the back-to-back in your home for both games.
Right. But when you talk about just pure talent, the will to win, championship pedigree, and the way these teams are playing, you playing 2 of the best teams in the league.
No doubt. The Thunder winning at the Clips yesterday. They've won 6 straight, 10 of their last 11.
Wow.
Celtics have won 5 straight now. You're, as you said, you're meeting these teams at their best.
Yeah, you are. And you're meeting them at a time to where you need every game.
Yeah.
You need every game, because if you look at the standings right now, you're playing 2 Herculean teams. And if you lose both of these games, Scott, it's no knock on the team because of the type of talent that you're playing.
Yeah.
But in the overall scheme of things, that's going to hurt like a slit to the belly.
Yep.
Because you dropped 2 straight.
Yep. Can't afford to lose to anybody at this point in the season where things are at. So the Kings have their work cut out for them. We'll see what they can do. They do have Sabonis back tonight. Doug Christie said no minutes restriction for Sabonis. It'll be interesting to see how he looks. Obviously, you don't usually bring somebody back until they're fully ready, and I don't think the Kings would either. Sabonis is one of those guys, though, you almost have to strap down with a seatbelt to keep him from entering the game.
Yeah, and a couple of toe hooks.
Exactly.
Because he wants to be on the basketball floor so bad. And you love that in the player. You love the grind when you got a player that's like, look, I want to play, man. I want to be out there. I want to help my teammates. I don't care what's going on. And he is that type of player, but you can't have him out there at 50%. You can't let him play at 75%. You know, as good as he is, a 75% Sabonis will give you something out there on the floor, but you don't want to risk him getting injured for longer than that.
Yep. All right, I got to call in the high flyer crystal ball here. Jaylen Brown's missed the last 2 games, listed as questionable for this one. We see him out there warming up, and he's got his sneakers on. So, high flyer's prediction for this one? Do you have one?
He's going very gingerly. It might still be. Oh, he's going?
There we go. I thought for sure you were going to say he was going. I was trying to set you up before.
I'm looking at the shoes, though. I'm like, are those game shoes or are those just shoes that you wear around? He got sparkles on his shoes.
Yeah, well, when you make $60 million a year, you can wear any shoe you want.
I need to go down there and ask him for a loan.
I know.
That boy making that loan.
Biggest contract in NBA history for Jaylen Brown, the Finals MVP from last year. So not only you getting the Celtics playing near their best, but you have Tatum, Porzingis, who's scheduled to play, who didn't play yesterday, and Jaylen Brown, who didn't play yesterday, giving it a go tonight.
And you know my favorite person on that basketball team? is the unsung hero,
Yep.
Mr. Drew Holiday.
Yep. Who also did not play yesterday, but it's not on the injury report for today.
Drew Holiday is the X factor. He's the glue that makes that team go. I mean, I like what Derek White brings, but I really think that when they need to stop and they need something special, Drew Holiday is the guy.
Yeah, no doubt. But you just talk about that starting five. It's just ridiculous how good it is.
Here's what really messes you up, Scott, when you look at Boston. Okay, you have Batman and Robin.
Yep.
Those guys are just, they're freaking natures in their own. You have two very good guards in Derek White and Drew Holiday. But the crazy thing is that when you have a player like the Unicorn, you have a player like the Unicorn.
Yep.
That's at your number 4. He's better than every number 4 in this league.
No doubt.
And old man Al Horford, he's just solid. And then, crazy enough, you sprinkle in a little Cater in there. Nimi Cater gets run for Boston. He helps those guys.
Peyton Pritchard, who's going to be 6th man of the year coming off the bench.
And Peyton Pritchard, another hard-nosed type guy that does all the brunt work. I mean, they're the champs, and they have everything that they need to make that run.
No doubt about it. Cedric Cornbread Maxwell up here. Of course, he's part of the broadcast team. Maybe we can get him on our broadcast here. High Flyer, I know you know him pretty well.
Nah, I know Brad pretty well, man, but he running around
He's
now.
smiling, saying hi to everybody.
Saying hi to everybody.
Exactly. By the way, have you had a chance to see Celtic City at all yet?
No, but I want to watch it.
Really good. It comes out every Monday night, so it's very appropriate. The next installment's being released here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They're in episode number 4, which I know Cornbread Maxwell is going to be featured in. They're talking about the 80s and the Larry Bird era.
You know what? I really want to watch that because, when you hear about a dynasty, such as the Boston Celtics, and you really want to know the inner workings of what all went on, especially back in the day.
Yeah.
Because now everything's on social media.
Right.
All you got to do is get your phone and get on Twitter. You figure out what's all going on with Boston. But back in the day when things were a little bit tighter and you had to have, some actual eyes in to see what's going on, to get that type of footage and to get those interviews and things, that's priceless.
It's pretty priceless, and it's just so well done. It's a Bill Simmons production, and of course, he is the authority in these documentaries, and they've done a great job with it. But for the Celtics team, they're still 5 games back of Cleveland. Obviously, they don't need home court advantage over Cleveland to beat them in a series. Do you think that's even on their minds right now, with Cleveland having lost 4 of their last 5?
Not at all. Not at all, because Boston understands this. They're trying to make the long haul. So they got to go through everybody to get there anyway. So whoever it is on the road, at home, they got to get there, and they got to get to the promised land.
How do you think? I know you're the defending champs, and you've got to be beaten to take that title away. But how do you think the Cavs match up with them if they do both get to the Eastern Conference Finals, which seems like they will?
I think it's going to be a tough haul. I don't know how many times the Cleveland Cavaliers have seen the Boston Celtics full strength. When the Boston Celtics are at full strength, they're a tough team. I mean, we just named what they got, and they have a lot of firepower. So I don't know if Porzingis played the last time they played, or, did Boston have a couple of their guys out? I have no idea. But I know when Boston's fully healthy, it's tough.
Yeah, it was interesting. Last time Cleveland was down 25-3 in Boston, came back and won that game against the Celtics.
Like
it's a regular season.
Like I said, I don't know who all was on the floor.
Yeah.
Don't know who all was accessible for the Boston Celtics. But I know this. They are the champs.
Yep. That they are. Now, of course, the Kings, you might say their best win of the year came at the Boston Garden earlier this year.
Total different team, too.
Yep.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about our Sacramento Kings, Scott, is that games like Cleveland, games like Boston, you can throw probably OKC, Denver, all the games to where you see all-stars, potential MVPs, teams that are having great seasons, the Kings show up. They show up and they show out.
Yep.
You know, it's definitely proven because we've seen them come out and just beat Cleveland. Cleveland didn't give the Kings that game, and Cleveland didn't play bad.
Right.
The Kings beat Cleveland and then come back out the next night and lay an egg against Chicago.
And the tough part is, I mean, they were up 19 in that game against the Bulls.
Right. And let the Bulls come back.
Let them come back.
And win.
Yep.
So, you know, tonight against Boston, I think the Kings are going to come out and give Boston a hell of a game. Now, if we get blown out, then, oh, well, so be it. But I think the Kings are going to come out and give it their best effort.
All right, let's hope so. All right, Game Night's being brought to you by the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Sacramento. It's a community cause that's near and dear to the heart of Henry and mine. If you're looking to do something good and help a kid out who needs an outside mentor in their lives, outside the family, a lot of kids who come from single-parent households are looking for that outside mentor. Perhaps that could be you. If you're interested in finding out more, go to bbbs-sac.org. bbbs-sac.org. Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Check them out. More of Game Night. We'll go around the league, get you caught up on the other scores and all the other news and notes right here. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis. Put the frosting on the cake. Put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Paul Mitchell, The School, Sacramento, and Stoney's Rockin' Rodeo. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the best truck on the market, the 2025 Ram 1500. And that's not an exaggeration. It's proven. It's the 7th time Ram has won the Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Car and Driver named it one of its 10 best vehicles of 2025, giving it a 10 out of 10. And at J.D. Power, it's #1 when it comes to brand vehicle quality. And hey, yeah, all that's great. But where Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram really separates themselves from the pack is their car buying experience. Come on in and see for yourself why they say it's where a handshake still means something.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speed vary. Not guaranteed.
KHD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Welcome back into Game Night right here, Sacktown Sports 1140. Scott Marsh along with the high flyer, Henry Turner. We're getting you ready for the Kings and the Celtics, the lone appearance of Boston here this year. And what's a big game for the Kings, 35-35, trying to hang on to a play-in position. And a lot will be determined this next week. Of course, 12 games remaining. The next 3 are at home before the Kings set back out on the road. They'll be home to finish out the year, but more tough competition in those last 3 games. And, The very last game of the year is the Phoenix Suns. And the way things are going right now, you could feel that game 82 might have a lot of meaning on April 13th.
Do you feel that? I mean,
I'm hoping it doesn't.
For me, it's like touching me right on the back of my shoulder.
Yeah.
So I know that when that game comes, it's going to be right in our face. That game is really going to mean something.
It really could. There's no doubt about that one. So we'll see. That's too far out. Can only worry about tonight and what's going on. We'll go through all the matchups for this one and give you our Ginger and Hammer injury report in our next segment. Let's go around the league right now. As we mentioned earlier, Anthony Davis back playing too. I think as a lot of people were caught off guard with Sabonis being back so early, although when you really think about with Sabonis, nothing should surprise you in terms of his ability to play. But for Anthony Davis, a little bit different story. He's back. He's playing tonight. And the Mavericks right now are blowing out Brooklyn 77-62 midway through the third.
Like I said, Scott, no team is shutting it down. 2 weeks ago, we speculating that, okay, the Kings are up so many games over these teams that, okay, Dallas is going to shut it down. Phoenix is playing horrible. When are they going to shut their guys down? And, and Portland is so far back, they have to make a Herculean effort to get back into it. Well, all three of those things flipped upside down.
Yeah, for sure. Now, obviously, Kyrie's out for the year. But with AD back, are the Mavs capable of making a run?
I'll tell you what, if you got an AD on your squad, a healthy AD, you're going to be in some basketball games. Now, how far you're going to be able to go, I don't know. But, when you get your big guys back, and, Dallas still has some guys that can knock down some shots at the guard position,
Yep.
They're pretty decent.
Yeah. The best thing about this matchup with the Mavs is the Kings hold the tiebreaker against them. So even though they're 2 games up in the loss column, it's really 3 because the Kings would own all the tiebreakers if they finish with identical records at the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they did a couple of good things, being able to get those tiebreakers. But, man, I mean, it's going to be game by game.
It is. All right. Around the league we go. Tomorrow, the marquee game everybody's looking at is the return of Jimmy Butler to Miami. That game's going to be on NBA TV, as will the Kings and Thunder tomorrow night as well. Steph Curry is with the team. Obviously, he took that fall to his back, bruised the lower tailbone. He's questionable to play tomorrow, but here's the thing. We've seen revenge games, right, all season long.
Mm-hmm.
As Cedric Maxwell making his way to his broadcast setup. Always love to see him in the house. So good.
Oh, yeah, big fella.
He is the big fella. We know what revenge games are. We saw Kevin Huerter put on a revenge game against the Kings, and that was after Jake LaRavia put on a revenge game against the Grizz. So Jimmy Butler, you feel like this is the ultimate revenge game going back to Miami. His quote, and I'll let you determine what you think of it in terms of how accurate it is from 0 to 100.
Uh-huh.
His quote was, that's so far behind me now, I don't even think about it. I don't pay attention to nothing except the trajectory of this squad.
Yeah, right.
Is that at flat out 0? Is that negative on the list? Where is it on the scale of truthfulness?
At the bottom. Because, Jimmy Buckets is going to try to come out against Miami and give them everything he possibly has.
Yeah. I think so, too. He said, I was traded from there, yada, yada, yada.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it didn't end the way that people wanted it to, yada,
right.
Yada, yada. There's a lot in those yada, yada, yadas.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, every jump shot he hit, he's going to be turning around looking at that bench saying, yada, yada, yada.
I think so, too. And you notice he just recently colored his hair as well, maybe getting ready back for a South Beach look.
Now, I don't know about that.
Little blonde going there.
JB gets a little wild with the hairdo, bro.
That's going to be interesting tomorrow. And you got to think, if Steph can at all play, he'll play tomorrow in that one.
Yeah, no doubt. But, is Steph going to be ready to go?
Yeah, and of course, they're not going to push it whatsoever just because Jimmy Butler's back in Miami. We get that. But they're also in a big-time rush in this playoff scenario. With the Clips losing last night, They are in the 6th place now at 41-30, but they're only 1 game up of Minnesota and the Clips. I mean,
Right.
The Warriors are teetering on a playoff play-in scenario at that number 6.
And see, Steph is probably in the same situation as Sabonis, to where, I'm injured, but I'm not hurt.
Well, and that's the opposite, right? You mean you're hurt but not injured, right?
No. Injured to me means you can go. When you hurt, no, I can't go. I'm hurt.
Right. You mean physically, like you have a broken bone, something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Steph's probably looking at it the exact same way of, I got to go because it's going to be a tight race for us if I don't.
Yeah, and obviously when you played, it was a different era, and the concept of being injured and hurt were different in terms of availability.
Oh, back in my day, if you're not losing pints of blood and it's not cracked all the way down to the marrow, you're going.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. So we'll see what goes down in South Beach tomorrow. That is definitely going to be national news for that. Let's see here. The Joker's been out. He's expected to come back for the Nuggets during their homestand. We mentioned Brendan Clark out for this season due to that knee injury. That really hurts them a ton.
Man, doesn't it? Isn't this going to be 2 years where he's been out?
Yeah, he missed last year.
Because he had Achilles, right?
Yeah.
His Achilles went.
I believe so.
Now they're losing him to a knee injury. Man, that's tough on them.
It is really tough on them. So we'll see how it shakes up the Western Conference. Obviously, all of these teams are vying for position. You've got the Grizz in the 5 spot. They're 2 games ahead of Golden State. Denver right there battling with the Lakers and the Rockets, all for 2 through 4. The only thing that's really wrapped up right now is we know the Thunder are going to be the 1 seed.
Yeah.
That we know for sure.
Everything else is a toss-up.
It really is. All right. Let's go around the league. We'll get you caught up on the other games going on right now in the association. As we told you, Dallas leading in Brooklyn. They're up 15. That game is in the 3rd quarter of play. Underway tonight, too. We are watching this game early on. The Magic are leading the Lakers right now in the 4th quarter. So Luka's playing. LeBron is back. The Lakers have kind of, quote-unquote, lost their magic right now. No pun intended.
It's probably going to take them a couple of games to try to get back. But, a lot of people probably didn't watch some film. I'm telling you, film and tape really, really, really tells you a lot about a basketball team, and it helps you to prepare.
Yeah, and of course, Dwight Howard was being interviewed on the Magic TV. His number inducted into their Ring of Fame.
Nice.
Deserving for sure for Superman.
Come on, man, rightfully so. I mean, the Dwight Howard did a lot for the Orlando Magic organization.
Yeah, he definitely did. You got the Pacers beating the Timberwolves, 4 minutes to go in the 4th. So it looks like the Timberwolves are going to go to 41-32. Pacers leading 107-90 in that game. So that's good news for everybody in the Western Conference. You have the Raptors on top of the Wizards, 92-87. Pels over the Sixers, 58-49. Chicago continues their West Coast road swing. They're in Denver later on tonight. In the game that we're going to be watching here for sure, Bucks and Suns tonight, as Phoenix playing much better. We'll see what they can do against Milwaukee. As we said, they're favored in this game tonight.
Right. That's one of those games to where the Kings are going to be watching saying, okay, help us out once again.
Yeah, the Suns, when it looked like their season might just be teetering on a lottery appearance, they've won 3 straight now.
And they got the pedigree to do it.
Yeah.
When you have 2 players as, Kevin Durant and Book, you got a lot of firepower out there, and just get anything out of your others, you can win a basketball game.
Yeah, no doubt. So Phoenix is still going for it for sure. And as we mentioned, they'll be here the last game of the year. And what makes that game potentially even more meaningful in game 82, whoever wins that game most likely is going to have the tiebreaker too. So, I mean, if the Suns come 1 game down, they win that game, they would probably have the tiebreaker against the Kings. Kings win that game, they definitely will.
Man, I mean, we we are talking about how we don't want to skip any game and, really look at this one against Boston tonight. But I'm sorry, that Phoenix game is going to be a doozy.
No doubt. All right, looking down on the floor, I see Brad Stevens, president of basketball operations, of course, the former head coach of the Celtics. He's here tonight. He was talking with Monty McNair a little earlier. Two GMs just having a conversation courtside.
Hey, you know, that's the way you get it done. No doubt.
No doubt. So, anyways, all the Celtics are in the house here. I do see a lot of green as well early on watching the Celtics warm up, and that's to be expected.
Oh, yeah, rightfully so. They're the champs.
Yep, no doubt. All right, when we come back, we'll break down things tonight. Kings and Celtics. Our Gingery and Hammer injury report is coming your way as well. It's game night right here. Sacktown Sports 1140.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
The wait is over. Rivercats baseball is back. Whether you're cheering on your team with friends or enjoying a fun night out with the family, Sutter Health Park is the place to be. With exciting giveaways, great food, and plenty of entertainment, join us for another year of Rivercats memories all season long. Don't miss the first games of 2025. Grab your tickets today at rivercats.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home with a 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Get ready for the high-octane action. It's the 76th season opener at the Stockton 99 Speedway, March 29th. Watch the intense racing action as the Stockton Late Models, NorCal Mini Stocks, NorCal Legend Series, Pure Stocks, and Fast Car Solutions Mini Modifieds tear up the track. It's fast, it's thrilling, it's non-stop action you don't want to miss. Family-friendly fun, food, and excitement for everyone. Gates open at 5 p.m. Racing starts at 6. Stockton 99 Speedway, where speed and excitement come to life. March 29th. Be there for the 76th season opener. For tickets, visit Stockton99.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Welcome back in the game night right here, Sacktown Sports 1140. Scott Marsh along with the high flyer, Henry Turner. Again, we'll take you up until 6:30. Kings Live pregame coming your way at the bottom of the hour. Jason Ross will be here with Henry for that. G-Man with the call, 7 o'clock tip, Kings and Celtics. Some related basketball news on the college level involving one of our beloved Sacramento Kings, Mike Bibby, today being reported Shams Charania, and when he reports something, you know it's true.
Right.
Mike Bibby is going to become the next head coach at Sacramento State.
Nice. The Bibbinator. Mike's coming back to Sac to coach. That's not even, I've been knowing that Mike wanted to coach for quite some time now. Yeah. He's been trying to break into it. So, for him to get a look here in Sacramento to go over and try to help Sac State do some damage. You know what? I wish the young man well.
No doubt. And, it's interesting that he is looking at the college level. You would think maybe if Doug Christie gets his job next year, we know how close Doug and Mike are, that maybe there might have been a chance on the Kings coaching staff perhaps, but going the college route.
Right. I think Mike understands that he has to get, tutelage under his belt somewhere, somehow. And I think he has been trying to get into the NBA, but just hasn't had a chance to, get any luck or get any footage in it. So if you can't get in at the NBA level, you got to slide in at the college level and work your way up.
We'll have a lot of people around here who will want to help him, no doubt about it. And, it's an interesting college basketball landscape, as we know. It has certainly changed, and the transfer portal and NIL and everything else.
Right.
The college basketball coach is not just doing X's and O's by any means anymore.
No, it's a lot of work right now, Scott. It's definitely changed from, when I was in college. It's changed from when Mike Bibby was in college. So, everything he knew about the college game and how it was worked and how it was performed is totally different now.
No doubt, but his name will certainly open up a lot of doors with a lot of recruits. And, I find it really interesting that, the two local colleges, Sac State and UC Davis, both have former Sacramento Kings players as head coaches now.
I like that.
Yeah, Jim Less with UC Davis. Of course, we carry their games here, and he does a great job.
I mean, keep it all homegrown. I really like that, bringing ex-Kings back to, really try to help these young kids and show them the way. And, I think it can't get any better.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to our Gingery and Hammer injury reports. For that, we go back to our Sacktown studios. Anthony, take it away.
All right. Starting with the Celtics, Jaylen Brown has been announced that he is available. Sam Hauser was recently announced to be out. Al Horford is out. And Xavier Tillman is out. For the Kings, Devin Carter is out with an illness. Doug McDermott is out with right elbow soreness. Malik Monk is also out with an illness, and Domantas Sabonis is surprisingly available after an early return.
There we go. All right, thank you for that, Anthony. Again, our injury report brought to you by the law firm of Gingery Hammer and Associates. If you're over in an injury, just call Gingery. All right, we know who's playing High Flyer. It'll be interesting to see how Sabonis is able to respond out there, who he guards tonight. The Unicorns playing, no Horford tonight.
Right.
What do the matchups look like to you? Obviously, trying to match up against this Celtics starting five, which is going to be the same five that won the championship last year. It's not going to be easy at all. We know that.
You know what? I still don't think the Boston Celtics is going to slide Porzingis down to the five. I think they're going to keep him at that stretch four position.
Yeah, play five out.
Right, because it's such a unique position for him, and it really opposes a mismatch for any other team that plays them. So I think they're going to put another big along the side of him and let Porzingis still play out around the rim.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Obviously, the Celtics have become such a great three-point shooting team. They kind of took the art of shooting threes to the next level.
They did, because they had big guys who can do it. When you look at Tatum and Brown, both of those guys are legitimate 6'8", and they lace them up from three with the best of them. And then Derek White can also light it up from three. You got Hauser. Hauser can light it up from three. Drew can knock down three-point shots. Yeah. And then you got Porzingis. Porzingis stretched the floor at a 4. So you got a lot of firepower from around the arc.
No doubt. Pritchard's one of the best as well. So this team is just one of the best, and they've proven it. That's why they got the championship rings. It really does start with Tatum and Brown. And again, this combination, for so long, people were questioning whether they could play together.
Right.
Nobody asked that now.
Not at all. And then it was definitely a question at one particular point. Okay, this doesn't work. Which one of these guys we're going to keep? And I was saying to myself back then, have you lost your mind? You got two gyms, and you talk about you're going to move one of them? No, that's not happening. No way, no how. This is a good basketball team. It's well-rounded. They just put some other pieces around Batman and Robin, and now they got a very good basketball club.
They do indeed. And it was so interesting this last offseason with it being the Olympic year. Brown was the NBA MVP for the finals, didn't make the Olympic team. Tatum made it, didn't play very much. Derek White played a lot for this, played a lot in that Olympic squad.
I don't even want to tell you what I think about that, Scott.
Yeah. Well,
I've seen, what? I'll tell you what. I'm about as disappointed in that action as I was with Sabonis not making an all-star game. So now you know how I feel about it.
Fair enough. And obviously what they've got going on here on the floor, they're not thinking about that right now. For the Kings tonight, they have not been a very good three-point defensive team. They're going to have to be one tonight. So what do they do differently to try and get the job done there?
The matchups are just so scary for Boston, Scott, because, like I said, Tatum and Brown are both 6'8", 6'9", and one of those guys is at the 2.
Yeah.
So Jarek White is a big guard. If they're going to start him at point guard, he's a big guard, and then you got a 7'2" guy at the 4.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to, put Drew Holiday in that starting position, and put Porzingis at the 5. But if they do that, firepower is at a premium.
No doubt. So Sabonis will start. I don't think there's any question about that. That'll put Valanciunas back on the bench, assuming we'll see Keon in the backcourt again for the Kings today.
Yes. We will, because Malik Monk is still out. Keon Ellis will definitely be in that starting position, and hopefully we can, Keon can still have that same type of game he had going the other night against the Chicago Bulls, because he played extremely well.
Yeah, he was fantastic with those 20 points. Interesting subplot to this game. We'll see if Markelle Fultz gets on the floor tonight. He played 8 minutes on Saturday, but Fultz, of course, was the player who Boston and Philadelphia traded with. Philadelphia made that trade with Boston to get Boston's number 1 pick. Boston moved down to number 3. Philly moved up to draft Fultz.
Mm-hmm.
The Celtics got draft picks, and they were able to take Jason Tatum 3. One of the great moves ever by Danny Ainge.
Hell of a pick. Hell of a move. But, I'm telling you, drafted in the NBA is kind of like playing the lottery. You never know who's going to pan out. You never know who's going to be what. So, it's just the luck of the draw and what kid be able to come out and play the way they play. So, I thought it worked out great for Boston. They got championships. They're good. But I'll tell you right now, what they roll out there on the floor is going to be a big question. So I'm like, okay, where do they go on the 5? And then how are the Kings going to be able to match up?
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see tonight. And if this is a game that Valanciunas can really match up tonight, because, again, the Celtics will play around the 3-point line. So a lot of things going on there. Might be a heavy Trey Lyles night tonight. And for Markelle Fultz, if he gets out there, it's a game he'll always want to play a little extra more for, given the circumstances.
You know what? I will think that Markelle Fultz is going to get some run, because we don't have DC tonight.
Right.
He's out also, right?
That's right. No Devin Carter.
Right. So
no Monk.
I'm sorry. Keon's going to have to get some rest.
Yeah.
As much as I love to see him out there all the time, he's going to have to get some rest some way, somehow. So, yeah, Markelle Fultz is going to get some run.
Yep. So we'll see how it all plays out. Kings with a chance to get above 500 again tonight. It won't be easy against the Celtics. That's going to do it for game night. Henry, is always great to work with you. Have a great call tonight.
Yes, sir.
Coming up next, Kings Live pregame. Jason Ross sits in with Henry for that. G-Man, the call tonight, 7 o'clock tip. Kings and Celtics, the only appearance of the defending champs here this year. We've got you covered. Keep it tuned here all evening long. Sacramento Kings basketball right here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry. You